Good morning, guys, or afternoon or night, whenever you're listening to this. I just wanted to make an audio about the present moment. And I know that I've made one similar to this before, but God has just been teaching me so much about the present moment and living in the present moment and accepting the present moment and the present reality for what it is. And I realized that I was doing so much maladaptive daydreaming and that I was living so much in this world in my head that the world that I was presently physically in was just passing me by. And it was almost like I was living so vividly in these moments in my head that when those times came, I didn't actually get to feel those feelings. Now, let me explain that some more. I went to a campus tour today to tour a campus for a university that I really wanted to go to. And weeks prior to going to this tour, I was maladaptive daydreaming about it. I was over obsessing about it. I was romanticizing it. I was coming up with a million different scenarios about it. And so when I finally went yesterday to the tour, I didn't have any feeling. It wasn't a bad feeling, it wasn't a good feeling. All I could remember was just feeling super numb. And the reason that I felt that way was because I had lived that moment in my head so many times that when that moment came to me physically, there was no emotion or energy left. It's almost like I sucked the energy and the emotion out of that moment just for temporary satisfaction, just so that I can temporarily think about it in my mind. And God revealed to me that that was something that I had been doing for a really long time. And I think that is just, it's kind of disturbing to realize, because I think about how many times I have lived a moment in my head and taken that moment away from my present self who deserves it. And so I just wanted to make that reminder, because I know that if I'm doing it, that I'm not the only one doing it. And I know that other people might also struggle with this. And so I wanted to make an audio about it to kind of talk about how bad it really is to be maladaptively daydreaming and how much it really affects you, because it really, really does. And it affects every part of you, because you're living so much in your head. You're living this moment so much in your mind that when that present moment comes, it's almost like you've already taken away that experience, right? And I've been stressing about how much I just want an original experience, how much I just want an experience to actually have on my own, right? And so I've just been learning that, and I've been learning about identity and how, we should know who we are. And I think that's been a really hard lesson for me, and I know a lot of other people, because it is really hard to, number one, know your identity, and then number two, live in the fullness of it, because we live in a world that is giving us a million different labels and identities, and we've been given labels since birth. And so having to step out of that and rebrand yourself, or allow God to rebrand you, is really difficult. It's really difficult when you've always been told a story. And so I got so much revelation of this in a movie. So I was listening to Megan Ashley's podcast in totality, and I think this episode was titled Deceptions, and she was talking about this show, and it's called The Truman Show, right? And guys, this movie, not only is it prophetic, but it is so eye-opening if you have the discernment to dissect the movie. And so I just really recommend that you guys go watch it. It's called The Truman Show, and it's starring Jim Carrey, and it was made in 1998. But Lord, does that movie beautifully depict how the devil works in our lives. And I made so many notes on it, and I think I'm going to put those notes in the description if you do go watch the movie, so that you can see the notes that I took on it. But it is really, really, really important to live in the present moment, because this is all that we have. And you will realize sooner rather than later that this future moment, or this past moment that you're romanticizing so much, that you're thinking about so much, is going to be nothing but a vapor, and this present moment is all that we have, right? And sometimes we despise our present moment so much because it isn't what we want it to look like, or it's just not where we want to be in life. But it's in those small moments. What does the Bible say? Do not despise small beginnings. It is in those small moments where the trueness of who you are is birthed, where your actual purpose is birthed. But we can miss that mark when we're living and romanticizing and idolizing. That's all it is. You're idolizing, a blessing, or you're idolizing, a place in which you want to be at. And obviously, it's nice to envision things, it's nice to plan things out, but you have to recognize when something becomes an idol in your life, when that's all you can think about, when that's all you dream about, And so as much as I'm just like, I want to get out of high school, I want to finish, I want to get on with my life, like, now that I'm slowing down, I'm beginning to realize, like, yes, I want to do all of these things, but I also just kind of want to enjoy myself. And don't you think you deserve to do that? You deserve to enjoy yourself. You deserve to live in this present moment, even if it's not what you want right now. And if we keep living in our minds and living in the past, in the future, like, it is going to be like on a spiral. It is going to be a constant cycle of just living in a time that you don't have to live in. That is where we miss opportunities. That is where we miss connection. That is where we miss purpose, when we're living outside of a time that God doesn't have for us, right? So this is just a reminder to anybody who's been struggling with like maladaptive daydreaming, or just like constantly obsessing over their future, obsessing over their past. All you have right now is the present moment. So why not just make the best of what you have?